Welcome to this edition of Video Explosion. I'm your host, DJ Finesse. With us today, public speaker, author, comedian, Marklyn, Mr. Direct Johnson in the house, Video Explosion.
Y'all ready for that real talk?
Real talk, y'all. Welcome to this edition of Video Explosion. Thank you for joining our program today. We got real special guests in the studio today. Marklyn T. Johnson. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Appreciate you, man. It's good to see you, bro.
Appreciate you, man. We are excited and grateful you're spending your time with us.
No, I appreciate the invite, man. It's good to see you. When somebody reaches out to you and says, I want to interview you, it's always an honor and a privilege.
Absolutely not.
Especially somebody from Scotch Plains Fanwood. Like, why would I not?
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Scotch Plains Fanwood in the house. A lot of memories, and the years have certainly gone by quickly, but I'm thankful for this opportunity. We were able to get together. I know we've connected a couple times over the last several years, but all well and all the same. We're glad you're here, man.
Man, listen, when I got the call, you was like, I want to interview. I didn't even think about it twice. I was like, all right, let's go. Let's do this. So again, I'm going to say it 20 million times. You're going to hear me the entire time, 20 million times. Thank you for this honor and this privilege to come and speak to your audience, because this is going to be a fun one.
Most def. Thanks, Mark. Let's just jump into it now. Self-published author.
3 times.
3 times when we have the books right behind us.
Yeah, the first book.
Tell us about it, man.
First book was Lesson from a SHIT Talker. If y'all know anything, when we were younger, somebody would always be joking and clowning. They'd be like, oh, he just talking that smack. So I thought it'd be funny, because that's what people always said about me. So I was like, oh, that'd be funny. You can learn some lessons from somebody like me. The second one was Facebook Conversations. People didn't believe the conversations I was having on Facebook. They thought I was joking. And I was like, nah, I've actually had these conversations. So I took the conversations, changed everybody's name but mine. But you can see the person's dialogue. You can see everything that they're saying. It's a good read. You really you dive in, because the thing is, underneath anonymity, a lot of people say wild things and don't even realize, like, yo, this stuff is here forever.
Yeah.
This is what a lot of people don't realize. Your information is there forever. So I always tell people, I was always honest about the way I thought about things, because I knew as a person I was growing. So I don't care if you see something I said 10 years ago, because that was 10 years ago. I evolved as a person. And the third book, I Like Black People, the Good Ones, an observation from experience. You and I both know, growing up in Scotch Plains and Fanwood area, when Obama was elected, we found out that a lot of our classmates, they held some real resentment towards people of color, Black people, if you will. And there was never a real discussion around it. Our perception, why we're scared of the police. Like I give this great analogy to people all the time. My dad one time said to me, and I remember I was in 8th grade, you don't ever hit a woman, let alone you never touch a white woman, because Black men will get killed. And I'm not trying to get too heavy, too seriously, but I've had to explain this to a lot of people who just don't seem to understand the gravity of that thought. It wasn't just don't put your hands on a woman. It was literally saying, don't put your hands on white women, because you will get killed behind it. And people can say, oh, times have changed. We still see it happening today.
Every day.
And I think the reason why I did that third book, it was really, you need to really understand how we are experiencing this world. I take it very offensively when anybody that's not Black tells us about our experience, but I take it very offensively when they say it with a bit of arrogance versus really deep diving and understanding, like, you don't know, like, I don't know what it's like to be a woman walking into a room full of men.
Yeah.
So how dare I tell a woman what it's like to walk into a room full of men? Yeah. But we live in a society where somebody gonna tell us how it feels to be black and all these advantages we've got being black. And I'm like, I never got accepted into a school because I was black. I never got it. If I got a job because I was black, I never knew about it. Because truth be told, I've always just shown that I could do the job, if not be better than the other guy. But not to get heavy, but there it is. So that's the third book.
Oh, and speaking, I like Black people, the good ones. What about the George Floyd incident?
So we mentioned that.
Pandemic.
We talk about that. During the George Floyd epidemic, well, not epidemic, when we were locked down during the pandemic with the George Floyd situation, that's where this really came from. Watching the discussions, we're all locked at home, we can't go no way. We were on Facebook every day, interacting with people. That was our exit. And people would just say the most disgusting things about Black people, Black culture. And, I'm never going to act like I'm the most Black person in the world. Because truth be told, I've been called an Uncle Tom by Black people. I've been called a sellout by white people. But at the end of the day, I went home to a Black mother and a Black father and a Black family. I know I'm Black. I look in the mirror, I know I'm Black. In every situation I'm in, I know I'm Black. And I wear that with a badge of honor. But it even more so upsets me that people can call you a friend, but can't understand that our experiences of this world are just different. And by writing that book, I was able to express to people, you really kind of want to get a feel for it. I'm not saying it's the complete experience, but it gives you a snapshot of the experience of what we did. And with George Floyd, I tell people all the time, and I go, George Floyd died over a fake $20 bill.
Yeah.
People don't even go in and think about that concept. They just hear that he had fentanyl in his system. Once people buy into a concept, people don't really want to look at the whole picture, because what it does, people create stories in their mind, and they purchase that story so hard that they only looking for evidence to further that story. So saying that George Floyd died of fentanyl, even though the independent, the person that did what do they call it when they autopsy?
Yes.
The independent autopsy and the medical examiner both said he died by asphyxiation from the knee on the back of his neck.
Right.
Yes, he had fentanyl in his system, but it wasn't enough to kill him.
Exactly.
Secondly, when people say he was resisting arrest, okay, if you're resisting arrest, you wouldn't put your knee on the back of a dog.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's that.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you couple it with, if a man is telling you he can't breathe, all of us have at some point, if you go through anxiety or you having trouble breathing, say, I can't breathe, because you're trying to gasp for air. So when people try to say, well, if he couldn't breathe, how could he say it? It's like you're reaching.
Right.
Because right now, if I put my arm around your neck and squeezed and you couldn't breathe, you would say, I can't breathe. Okay. You would be saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, and this is why I'm so adamant about talking about racism openly. For some reason, when it comes to Black people, we're dehumanized. We're not respected enough. We're looked at as others. And that bothers me. First of all, I'm around white people 90% of the time, truth be told. And I don't like them as much as I don't like any of the other people that I'm around when I'm around them. And if you know my personality, I'm sort of hard to get along with. I know my personality, and I'm not the easiest person to get along with. I'm very guarded, and I'm very once you're in and I'm cool with you, I'm cool. Mm-hmm. But if I ain't cool with you, I'm keeping you, at bay. Yeah. And because of that, and because, little trust issues, I always have to examine who I am in every space I'm in. And I really just feel the disrespect that is given to people of color is just disgusting. And I'm not going to go too far into it, but you know how it is. I mean, you've been out here, you've been working, and any Black person listening to this knows how it is. Our experience is uniquely different because we are as American as most of these people. Watching some guy talk about when his grandfather came off the ship in 1920 to Ellis Island, mm-hmm. and it's like, My family came from, we were off of one of the first slave ships that came to this country. And when I tell that to people, people don't understand. I'm more American than you are. You know, like I only know America, you know, and then I'm like, you know, you're Irish, right? Yeah. We don't know what we are.
We don't know.
We don't know if we're Nigerian. We don't know if we're from Uganda. We, you know, like we don't know where we could be, you know, like our blood is so diluted
Yes.
that we don't know who we are. So what we became is this section of America that's just, we're Black Americans. And we're proudly Black Americans. And I think people sometimes take offense to it because they know deep down inside we're uniquely American. We didn't have to buy into the concept of America. We are America. You know, our forefathers was in the fields picking sharecroppers and picking cotton and picking rice and, you know, doing all this with the tobacco. Our forefathers we built the White House, you know? Yes. And they was offended when a Black guy's family descendants, you know, like came, built the White House, and now one is finally sitting in that house talking about, you know, we did this. That offended them.
Yeah.
And that's shocking to me. Because if anything, if you love America, the Black American history story should be celebrated.
Yeah.
You know, like we've come so far, we have more to go, but we should be celebrated. We should be celebrated because most of the stuff that they have would not exist without us. You like to wash your clothes? Black man invented the washing machine. Like, come on. You know?
The clock, Benjamin Banneker, the clock, the hot comb.
The light bulb.
Yes.
The light bulb. Thomas Edison, I was listening to Les Brown the other day. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times, but he kept going, right? But that light bulb didn't go until I think it's Joseph Latimer, and I could be saying the wrong name, but his last name I believe is Latimer, invented the filament because everything else would heat up and break. He invented the filament that would help the bulb stay lit and not explode, right?
Right, yeah.
But you don't hear about him. You hear about Thomas Edison.
Yes.
And I mean, everyone's got a cell phone in their hand. I turn mine off, but everyone's got a cell phone in their hand. A Black man invented the technology for you to have a cell phone in your hand.
Got to be recognized for that, right?
Us landing on the moon, there's a movie about it. A Black woman's genius invented you should be, instead of hating on us, you should be celebrating us. And that's why I wrote that book. And that's, for those of you watching, which I appreciate, I did watch a couple of episodes. If you catch a hold of this, understand the adamance coming out of me is you should be celebrating us, not hating us. Because you want us to celebrate America for, you know, like certain days of the year. Like every year we go to the Italian festival, right? And I don't care who you are. Everybody have a fun time at the Italian festival, right? Who doesn't go and say, yeah, I'm gonna need some Zeppelis this year? Everybody's like, yo, where you going? And they always do the same excuse too. What do? They're like, I don't think I'm gonna go, but I think I'm gonna go get some Zeppelis. That's the excuse, right? Yes. And then every now and then you'll see a dude walking through. I thought you wasn't gonna come. Yo, I gotta get my Zeppelis. They run, get their Zeppelis, and they might be out. But every year we do that. You know, we celebrate that. We celebrate being Italian, being German, being Jewish. We celebrate being Latin. But for some reason, when it comes to celebrating being Black, it's like it's like this level of disgust for us. And we're beautiful. Black is beautiful.
Black is beautiful, yes. And Mark, also, just switching up for a second, you're also stand-up comedian.
Yes.
How did you start comedy and when? How long you been doing that?
I'm gonna try and snap it up because you could tell I'm long-winded.
It's all right.
I've been writing on Facebook since it first came out, long-winded. I really don't know how it came about, but I've always been writing jokes. Like every now and then I would write some funny stuff and people would be like, yo, you're hilarious. Never thought about it. Never thought about it. I kept podcasting. When I was podcasting, I just did the audio, blogtalkradio.com. Give a shout out to them. I have over 20,000 views on blogtalkradio.com.
Is this the Mr. Direct?
This is the Mr. Direct's Real Talk, the first one I've ever done. It was all audio. Shout out to Melanie, RJ. Shout out to April. Unfortunately, she passed away. Her father, Gary. My friend Danielle, my boy, he's from Scotch Plains. Andrew Parsons, he came on every now and then. My friend Rose. So we basically made it almost like a family, and it was like a radio show. I would put breaks in between, but we would talk about pop culture, and you would just hear us talking. And I would come up with skits.
All right.
Like I came up with Reverend Cleophas Biggums of the Third Rock Plymouth Episcopalian Judaism Fathers of Atheist Church. I bid you hello. I came up with that. I would come up with little skits here and there, and people would just laugh. They'd be like, wow, like you're creative. I still didn't think of myself as a comic. I kept doing podcasting, and then one day, a girl that I was friends with said, hey, do you want to hang out tonight? I said, sure. So what do you want to do? She said, I want to go to Acme in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I said, Acme Club? Oh, I was like, all right, what is it? She goes, it's amateur night. I was like, word? She was like, yeah. She was like, you come. Now I'm gonna tell you this. This is how a lot of comics get started. You go there and you see some dude up there for 3 minutes bombing and you laugh. You're like, I could do better than that. I could have done that. Like, what? You ain't got no rhythm to your jokes. You're garbage. I could do that, right? And I was like, okay. So I waited a couple of weeks, and then I put a post on my page. I said, yo, it's about time. Your man's just gonna go in here and do a joke. And so I want to tell you how confidence can kill you in 2 seconds. So I call my friends go with me. Some meet me over there, other ones get there, right? My first time on stage in front of anybody doing anything. They're real. First time on stage in front of an audience, I go in. They tell you to sign your name on it, right? When they tell you to sign your name, they tell you to put a star next to it. Now, my arrogance is, so that they'll let the sucky people go last, right? And then they'll let the good people go first. Well, I'm garbage. I never done it before. She's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah. Guess who got called number 1? Your boy did. I got called number 1. And my joke was just basically how my girlfriend says I watch too many adult sites. And she would start naming the different actresses. The premise is that she knows all the same names. So how do I watch it too much if you know the names of the women that I'm watching, right? That was the premise. I didn't know how to tell a joke. I never wrote a joke before. I went up there. But let me tell you something. I said that and I named 2 of them, and I heard somebody laugh their behind off in the back. All you heard was, ha! I jumped off the stage at 1 minute and 21 seconds. I was given 3 minutes, 1 minute and 21 seconds. Now, y'all gonna sit there and say that I punked out. Yes, I did, because I lasted 1 minute and 21, right? But let me tell you, the bug hit me at that point, because now I was angry that I didn't last 3 minutes. Because the guys I saw on stage before me were garbage, like at the time. And I'm like, I know I could do better than that. Right. I'm a funny dude. Yeah. I could do better than that. So then all of a sudden I started going to mics. Now, Minnesota is different than New York. Minnesota's passive aggressive, family orientated. And, I didn't feel I was catching a rhythm there. Unfortunately, my dad got sick. I had to move back. Shout out to my dad. I know he's watching somewhere. When I came back, I was doing my podcast, but I had turned it into a video podcast at this point. So now I'm doing this on video. And I invited Mike Marino, who's from Scotch Plains. Mike's like a veteran. He's been doing this 20, 25 years. He's 30 years now. He's deep. He's been doing comedy for a while. And he said, you'd be a good host. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, you'd be a good host. I think you'd be a really good host. You should try it. I said, word. Now, mind you, I'd still been doing mics, but I haven't been doing shows.
Okay.
So I've been dipping and dabbing. But when I say mics, once a week, stop. Once a week, stop. The urge, the calling was always there. Being a comic was always there. So finally, Mike said, I got you. He said, listen, I have this show in Forked River, New Jersey. Shout out to Forked River, New Jersey. He said, I got a show. And he goes, would you like to host it for me? I was like, yeah, cool. And he said, cool. He invites me down there. And when he invites me down there, 100 white people, middle-aged and older, and my black behind. You're like, all right, I got a host. I never wrote a joke, didn't know anything. I'm just walking in and hosting. So I started talking smack about the ship outside, how this is what they do for Tinder. And I got them cracking up. They just rolling. And I'm like, okay, this is my home. Being on stage is my home. I was meant for this. Then after that, because I've been doing the mics every now and then, Gordon Baker Bone. Big ups to Gordon Baker Bone. If you guys don't know about him, he's the truth. He's been doing this for about 13, 14 years. Funny dude. Check him out, Gordon Baker Bone. He said, hey, I got a show. It's called The Big 10. You're going to get like 8 to 10 minutes and you get to do a set. August 17th, 2015. Right. First show I ever did, like as a comic. First show I ever did as a comic. I went on. Jessica Silver, you know Jessica, right?
Yes.
She was there.
Jessica.
She was there. Big shout out to Jessica. Yeah. She was there, but she didn't know. I didn't know until afterwards. But I invited some friends too. So my friends came through. And I told a joke about how I used to get spankings when I was younger. And because of that, I can't watch tag team wrestling. Because it seemed like my parents were tag teaming when they was spanking me. You know, hey, save me some. You know, tag out, tag in and out, right? Yeah. See, it's funny on the premise. It's like, yo, your parents are tag teaming. So she comes off, she goes, you know, you're real comfortable up there. And I said to her, I was like, well, what you think I've been doing when I tell you I've been like hitting mics and putting in work? And I am. I'm pretty sure you've seen some of the clips. I'm very comfortable on stage. Absolutely. I'm nervous when I want to get up there because sometimes I know I can't really be who I want to be. But when I'm free to be who I want to be, I'm reckless and I have fun. But I don't care what background you're from, black or white, people relate to my recklessness because everything is like stream of thought. It's jokes, but it's stream of thoughts.
Well, what's the mindset? What kind of mindset do you need to go up there and perform and not knowing what the makeup of the audience will be, this and that? How do you keep your mindset or even hecklers, this and that? Because I think, Marklyn, it takes, in my opinion, a lot of savvy and courage just to get up there. And not everybody could do that. It's definitely.
You got to know, first of all, you got to know who you are.
Okay.
If you don't know who you are, you're going to get eaten alive the minute you walk up on stage.
All right.
And if you really don't know who you are, you can't sell a joke. You could tell a joke. Somebody can write a joke perfectly for you and give it to you. And you might be, because you're confident on stage, you might be able to deliver it. But if you don't know who you are, being up on stage is next to impossible. I can't swear on your show, but I'm an F-bomb advocate. I'm an F-bomb advocate. And I'll either say it with a smile or I'll throw a different type of attitude behind it. And it kind of throws people off because they don't know if I'm being nasty or rude or if I'm saying it just to be in a moment. You know, one of the best things that August 8th this year, I went up to Methuen, Massachusetts, the headline. And I told this joke about a woman that was well endowed. And I can say that, right?
Sure.
Okay. I'm making sure I don't go too far over.
Thank you.
So I congratulated her. I was just like, yo, those are nice. And I said it to the audience. They start losing it. Again, I'm saying stuff. It's not the shock. It's so matter of fact. Yeah. You're thinking it, but I'm going to say it, right?
All right.
And then the whole audience starts laughing. And then she's like, but my dad's here. And I'm like, what? And she goes, my dad, he's here. And she points to him. And I'm like, thank you. You blessed us for this. And then the mom was there too, right? And the mom goes, what about me? I'm like, both of you, it's your genetics combined. Crowd keeps laughing. After the show, she runs up to me and she goes, that was the funniest thing ever. And asked to take a picture with me. Now, some people could say maybe I went too far, which somebody did. Somebody was just like, oh, you're misogynistic. And I laughed about it. I was like, kind of funny. The girl that's in the joke ran up to me and thanked me and said it was hilarious and took a picture with me. Mm-hmm. So I knew they were drinking. I knew they could have fun. I had called a group of girls to open up. I said, give it up for your Sex in the City group over here. And then I was like, or is it Golden Girls? Because they both on a champion of fours, right? They both a group of fours. And they was mad when I said Golden Girls. They was up with it with Sex in the City. I said Golden Girls. They was like, really? That's where you at? So, going back to the first book, Lessons from a Smack Talker, doing comedy for me is a release of the crazy of what I have going on in my brain. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, I'm writing a joke about Diddy. Like they gave him 50 years so he can't do the halftime Super Bowl show. Because remember how they told you how wild the parties were after the VMAs, right? Yeah. Could you imagine a halftime Super Bowl party? They would have to lock up all the baby oil for 50 miles. Like, you know what I'm saying? And now you see Diddy. Do you see Diddy in jail saying free game with Diddy? Right? He's probably teaching a course like not all baby oil's the same. Like that's how you write jokes. You start to learn the audience and the crowd and you play with it. And it's you have fun with understanding the way your brain thinks about things. And I'm very observational. Mm-hmm. So my observations might be a little bit off base, or my observations are you're thinking it, but I'm going to say it.
You're going to say it. Mm-hmm.
And that throws people off sometimes. Because people will be like, oh man, I can't believe you said that. So one of my friends commented on my page was just like, daring as ever, don't care. I'm like, no, I don't.
No filter, right, Mark?
When you're doing comedy, I think one of the things that's hurt comedy now is everyone thinks that comedy is what they like. And they don't understand comedy is subjective. Back in the day, every comic wanted to be, I got 1 million fans that follow me, right? I got 8 million fans that follow me. When you start doing comedy, you should be more like Kevin Hart. You should be like this person. You should be like that person. Now, how about I just be the first me? Mm-hmm. And as you guys are watching it and you're seeing it, a lot more comics are going to YouTube and going to TikTok and going to these streaming services, and they putting out they dirt.
It's some good stuff.
And it's some good stuff because the industry, you're not marketable. The industry is, we don't think we can make money on you, or we don't want to help you make money. Mm-hmm. There's a guy out there right now, his name is Ryan Davis. Funny. Industry he went to Netflix and they said, we don't want to give you that opportunity. He spent $110,000 of his own money to produce his own stand-up special. Netflix was like, we don't want it, right? So he put it out on Patreon. And he had like 2-3 million views, right? Mm-hmm. So people rocked with him. So now he hooked up with Ali Sadiq. You know who that is, right? Now he's going to hook up with him, and now they're going to put out, because Ali Sadiq is all YouTube. Yeah. And he's funny as anything, because he's very good at storytelling, and he tells the stories about him being in jail, and he tells a joke about Big Brown, and the other guy, he's funny. And I tell people this all the time. I said, one of the things that I love about comedy is I could be so funny, but nobody ever discovers me, but I'm able to share my craziness with the world, and people will be like, yo, you guys don't even understand. You don't know every comic that's out there. There's comics out there right now that are making $600,000 a year. You don't know their name. Mm-hmm. And they're out there hustling, doing shows, clearing out weekends. Every time they step in, people will be like, and the dream is when people see that logo, people are like, oh, we about to have fun.
Let's make sure they can see this. Smart. Check out your logo.
100%. So when people see that logo right there, they're gonna know, oh, I'm about to laugh.
You're about to laugh, y'all.
You're gonna enjoy you're gonna enjoy your time. And funny story, quick transition. That logo came from, I did a speech for the George Floyd March. And somebody took a camera shot of me from behind. And I don't know what happened. At the end of my speech, I just pointed to the sky. He got that picture. And I was like, that my boy told me that as a graphic artist, Tilden.
Yes.
Tilden was like, that's your logo. He was like, that's yours.
What's up to Tilden?
Big up to Tilden Jones. What's going on? So a lot of Scotch Plains love in what I've been doing. A lot of Scotch Plains love in what I'm doing. And
well, Mark, speaking of that and sharing, you also providing service, visiting nursing homes.
So
Shed some light on.
I'm not providing services, man. That's a job. Yeah, I go to nursing homes I go to senior facilities, nursing homes, rehab centers, and I provide comedy, karaoke, stuff to, engage them and make them happy and put a smile on their face. And it's a job. It really is, because they're not always ready for you. And again, remember when I said you got to read the room? So I think I got to be safe. And one day something happened. One of them triggered me. And I was just like, you want to mess with me, really? And I started going in. This lady's face turned beet red. I thought I wasn't going to get paid, y'all. I thought I wasn't going to get paid. Next thing I know, we in a conference, and she said, you remember when you did that? I said, yeah. She goes, we need more of that. I was like, are you for real? She's like, yeah, we need more. And it's what everybody's been telling me. And I like that I'm saying this with you now, because one of the things that I speak about is change the formula. So everybody in their life has a struggle. When I'm on stage, sometimes I have a problem being authentically me. And that's why I said, when I'm in an atmosphere, when people let me rock and I got no shackles holding me back, telling me I can't say something. The Methuen, Massachusetts bar that I went to, it was Pika's ice cream in Delhi. And I said to the guy, I was like, is there things I shouldn't say? He was like, nah, you say whatever you want. I took a sip, let's roll. Went in and just did the first words out of my mouth to one of the guys that was annoying me. He was messing with the first comic. I was like, shut the up, right? Whole room lost it. They were like, that's what we paid for. Okay. It's people who can relate to me because there's something about my presence that's it's not threatening, but the minute they hear me speak and I start joking, they be like, oh, it's on. They know I'm ready to sling. And I'm still improving as a comic. But comedy is the only thing that's ever challenged me.
Now, what are some of the spots you performed at? I know you've bounced all around.
I've done
some of the boroughs. Tell us about it.
I have performed, I did, Grizzly Pear, Midtown, Grizzly Pear, downtown on a Monday night. I did that a couple of times. Broadway Comedy Club. Big ups to Broadway Comedy Club. Big ups to Dina Smith. She's the daughter of Al Smith, the guy that owned it. Not Al Smith. I forget. I might have forgot his name if I messed it up. But Al owned Broadway Comedy Club until he passed away a couple of years ago. His daughter helps run the door, so big ups to her. Big ups to Audrey, all them people at Broadway Comedy Club that I go on stage, I'll see them at mics, and we hang out, have fun. Big ups to Laughing. So I'm a host with Laughing Buddha Comedy in New York City. Nice. So I performed at the Stand a couple of times, Grizzly Pear, Eastville Comedy Club in Brooklyn. I've done a couple of spots over there. Big ups to Darren. I ain't gonna say her last name because it's an Italian long last name, but she gave me an opportunity to be a host, and she respects what I do. And sometimes she lets me host, and she's like, you open up the room. Because a lot of comics go on stage and they try to do a set. I don't worry about doing a set. I'm a host. I'm here to talk. I'm here to talk and get you to open up, get y'all, the audience, to buy into what we're doing. I just don't like it that I can't mess around in between, because sometimes we have we do a lot of comedy showcases. So I can't really with the crowd. Like, remember Def Comedy Jam?
Of course.
Martin Lawrence used to mess with the crowd in between comics.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of room for that.
Okay.
But sometimes I produce shows myself. So big ups Lee Frankel at Crossroads.
Yeah.
He let me produce a couple of shows over there.
I saw you there.
Yeah.
Did you excellent job. Excellent.
I love hosting. I love hosting because the weight of doing a 10-minute set is not on me.
Mm-hmm.
I get to go up there and say whatever I want and get the crowd to open up, and I get to pull them up. If the audience is here because the comic dropped them, I got to pull them up here. If they up here, I got to pull them back down here. It's a game, and you can't perfect it. But if you could be a good host, you could also be a good comic because you throw in your little nuggets of jokes in the middle of it. And I always tell people are like, yo, I want to book you, but I don't know where you book me as your host. Book me as your host. I will light that room up. Mm-hmm. I've lit up rooms so well. And I'm not saying this that I'm better than anybody else. I'm saying I have lit up rooms so well that walking away, people are like, I wanted to see more of you versus the comics.
Uh-huh. That's when you know you got.
That's when you know you're doing something.
Yeah.
I love, like, comedy has been, comedy is my therapy. If I didn't do comedy, I'd probably be locked up in an insane asylum. Be honest with you. I love doing comedy.
What else you got coming up next? What's going to be happening?
I don't know where my next comedy show is. I go into the city every week and host mics. And I do that to keep the stage underneath my feet. You know, it's important to keep the stage underneath your feet. But I'm also a motivational speaker.
Yes.
And I'm flying out to Rochester on Wednesday. I got a speech at Monroe Community College. The speech is change the formula. Okay. Identifying the change you want in your life. Understand what are your setbacks, meaning what are your fears, overcoming those, and if you stumble and fall, how to get back into the rhythm. Everybody needs change. A lot of us like to think that we're proactive. Most of us are reactive. We don't do anything until we're forced to do it. And to change the formula is about you identifying, I want to change my relationship. I want to change my relationships. I want to change my financial status. I want to change my job. Maybe there's something, if you've always had a goal or a dream you want to go after, how can I do that? Because most people are scared of the unknown.
Yeah.
And because they're scared of the unknown, they don't know how to get to that next level. And they're scared because it's a shift. You know, Les Brown and a lot of great speakers say, disappear for 3 months and see what happens. Disappear for 6 months and see what happens. And a lot of people don't realize the power you have to adjust and change yourself. And this is why I love motivational speaking, because it's a different side of my brain that a lot of people will never understand. Because when they see me goofing off and being silly, you know, it takes them to that jokester guy. And they're like, oh, I can't take that jokester guy serious. But when I grew up, my dad, similarly, my dad looked a little bit like Martin Luther King when he was younger. You know, a little bit. He resembled a little bit. But we had Martin Luther King 8-track tapes.
8-track.
Right. Always, as I got older, Malcolm X. You know, during the 90s, I loved Tupac. I understood his anger. I understood his rage. You know, you're a 20-something-year-old black male and you're just trying to find yourself in this world. And you don't think this world is ready to hear the voice that you offer. And sometimes you feel like you have to dumb yourself down or you have to be less of who you are. And when you don't feel you could be yourself, it causes a conflict. It's trauma.
Yeah.
And that's why I love doing motivational speaking. It's helping people to identify the trauma that's going on in their life. You know, when I speak to an audience of like 20, if 2 people walk out impacted, I'm good. And a lot of people say, yeah, you should want all 20 of them. It's impossible to believe 20 of them
Right.
because at least half of them don't want to be there.
That's true. Yeah.
But if you can get 2, you've done your job.
Absolutely. You were able to reach out and affect and help 2 people
Exactly.
make a change. Or
Exactly.
be inspired, and so they can make those moves.
And that's your goal. Your entire goal is to pull these people in and create an impact that these people can appreciate. It's not easy by any means.
Well, the positive message is needed, and you doing your thing, getting out there, reaching the people through your comedy, your
Yes.
nursing home visits. So a well-rounded Mark with talent, ambition.
I will say, I worked roughly 14 years of corporate America. And I kept looking at that cubicle and saying, is this it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I never had a plan on how to get out. So when we say most people are proactive versus most people are reactive versus proactive. I'm really responding to the fact that I never want to be in corporate America again. It's not comfortable for me. I don't feel seen. I've never felt appreciated in corporate America. I've never felt as if I belonged in that environment. I always felt like I was trying to be something I wasn't. I felt like I literally, when I would put on, like how you're dressed up, when I would do that, my brain was, I want some jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
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 And I don't fault guys that can hold those positions. I made friends with a lot of guys that can hold those positions. I'm a jean and t-shirt guy.
Mm-hmm.
I love wearing jeans and t-shirts. I want to be comfortable. I like the freedom. The reason why I got into motivational speaking is because I found out there's a young lady, her name's Tracy Jefferson in Minneapolis. She saw me post and saw some of the stuff I said, and she was like, I think you'd be good as a motivational speaker. And she tried to get me to speak with veterans. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get in and speak with the veterans, but she did that. And then my cousin called me and said, they're having a career day in Piscataway at Quinnipiac School. I believe it's Quinnipiac or whatever.
Yes.
Would you like to speak there? And I did a 20-minute segment about entrepreneurship. And I was told the kids loved me more than they loved anyone.
Right.
Then the SNAP program at Edison, I told this young lady, I kept telling her I would see her in the bar all the time. I said, listen, this is what I want to do. She said, I think I got a program. I'll let you speak. So I spoke. And it was an 8-week program where they would bring in speakers. And she said, I'm going to tell you something. Don't let it go to your head. I said, what? She goes, out of the 8 speakers we had, the kids liked you more. And I could tell you why the kids liked me more. I don't preach. I speak from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
I was a failure at corporate America. I lived at home till I was 32 years old. I got fired from every job I've ever had. And when I say that, somebody gonna watch this and be like, I can't believe he's saying it out loud. Listen, you gotta be honest with yourself. That's what changed the formula, this whole program I wrote. That's what it's about. It's about being honest with yourself. Like sometimes we put ourselves in environments we don't belong in. Somebody will break up with their boyfriend or girlfriend and then 2 months later got a new boyfriend or girlfriend talking about I'm healed. And it ends up it's the same person, but the person's got a different hair color, different eye color, or they drive a different car, or they got a different job. And I'm like, it's the same person.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. When are you going to change the formula? When are you going to look at yourself and figure out what you need to do? And I'm still changing the formula. Like when I say change the formula, it's not a day process. It's a weekly process. I made 10 calls to schools today. Should have been 500. Not 500, should have been closer to 100. That's how far off the radar I am. But I still make the effort, even on days when I'm moving slow, I still make the effort to get in so that I can say I did something. It's still a struggle. And when I speak to people, when somebody watches this, and when I share my information with people, I want people to understand you are the beginning and the end of everything you're going to be in this world. And if you don't take the time to examine who you are, what you want, and why you want it, you'll never get what you want. You'll always get what you conditioned yourself to be. And most of us are operating on a comfort level.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the most successful people in the world, they're not operating on comfort. They're operating on discomfort. They constantly create scenarios where they've got to up the ante.
They're grinding too.
Yeah.
Along the way.
They're grinding, but they're constantly like, okay, look at Jay-Z. Jay-Z's a prime example. A lot of people hate him because he did hustle to get himself up. And I go, but in the back of his mind, he probably always wanted to be a billionaire. And that's how he got there.
Yeah.
So he did whatever he had to do. And if people don't understand something, you know, like I don't believe the ends justifies the means. I don't believe in that. What I do believe is if your mind is so envisioned that you're going to accomplish something, you're going to find a way to make it happen. And I got proof for you. I don't know how I wrote 3 books. I didn't use ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't use a cheat code. I don't know how I wrote 3 books. I can't tell you how I wrote 3 books. I could tell you the first book, I took a trip out to California. I took an edible. I can say that, right? I took an edible. It was a 5-hour trip. I wrote this book in 5 hours. Had it edited, knocked down, it's 100 pages, right? Second book, people didn't believe my conversations. I pulled the conversations down, modified them, got an editor, pull it down. This is all me writing and just looking up stats and putting stuff. This is 100% me.
All self-published.
All self-published. You can find them on Amazon, by the way. I'll make sure I give you the links. Here's the crazy thing about it. I'm talking about it now, but when they introduced me on stage for my comedy shows, I don't let nobody talk about the fact that I'm a published author. Hopefully by this time next year, I'll have 2 more books out. Hopefully. No one's going to know that I wrote 5 books unless I tell them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you, the reason why I want to tell you, I'm using this as an expression about how strong your mind is. About 2007, about 2007, when Facebook was really kicking in and people started reconnecting with everybody. You know Gerald Rawls.
Yes. What's up, Gerald?
Big up Gerald. I had a conversation with him and I said, yo, Gerald, what's going on? He's like, not much. Just over here working. You know, he works in Hollywood. He was working on something. He's like, what you doing? I said, man, I'm over here. I want to write a book. I just don't know what I want to write the book about. Here we are some years later and I got 3 books out. This is why I say you have to change the formula. You have to remember, if it's in the back of your mind, I've always wanted to do stand-up comedy. I found my way to stand-up comedy. After I did that, and I spoke a couple of times, and it fell in me, I found a way to do it. I just got booked the other day to speak in another school, Clinton Community College, up in, it's an hour away from Burlington in Vermont, but it's in New York side, Pillar. It's in Pillar, New York, or Plattsboro or something, New York. But I just got booked up there to speak. So I got 2 colleges I'm already booked at. I'm working on getting more colleges to get booked at. So I've always said I wanted to be a motivational speaker comic. And the best thing is the one that I'm doing it in, so this is in February. She says she knows the bar guy. She says she might be able to help me put together a comedy show. So when I come there, I can speak during the day. I can do comedy at night.
There you go. It's all coming together for you right now.
But if you don't think it.
And put it into action.
And put it into action. If you think about, I think I'm a great chef, but you ain't going out and buying the ingredients and experimenting, you're not a good chef. You're a dreamer of being a great chef.
Not a doer.
And we've created a society of dreamers.
Yeah.
And they feel safe dreaming versus let me actually do. And when I go speak, everything I speak about is I want you to look within yourself and achieve something great. I give comics advice all the time, and I tell them all the time, you might make it famous before I do. And that's cool because you might want to be famous. Les Brown says all the time, I'm not doing this to be famous. I was given a gift and I love to talk, and why not get paid to talk?
Well, we can't stay in our comfort zones. We got to keep it moving.
Our biggest battle is our comfort zone. Especially when we find some level of success. There's a man or a woman out there right now. They've made about $90,000 to $120,000 for a salary or whatever they're doing, and they're comfortable. They're loving it. They're like, yeah, I got this, but they don't want to do what they're doing, but they're comfortable.
Yeah.
House, heat. They're not complaining about groceries. You know what I'm saying? They got Netflix. They got, they're doing everything, but they're not happy. And the reason why they say that, because a lot of people be like, look at this. You got this house. You got the car. Everything's great. But inside, something else is stirring inside them.
Yeah.
I want to be a scuba diver. I want to be out there. I had a friend of mine tell me, he said, if he had not gotten married and had a kid, he'd have been in Arizona taking pictures, right? We're at a point in our lives that we should pass that wisdom on to other people. And I know he's teaching his son, figure out what you want to do and be happy with it. His son loves to play soccer. You know what I'm saying? Big ups to my friend Bill and his son Dante. Son loves to play soccer. I think that's a beautiful thing. Then I tell all the people, if you love soccer, play soccer. And if you don't make it to there, keep playing the soccer. I tell all these soccer players that go to college when I bump into them, you could coach. You could start your own drill, teaching kids the drills and making money that way. I will always, always be connected. Like your man that's helping with the podcast. Aaron. I will always be a podcaster. I loved it. I love putting messages out there and craziness and people connected. It's part of who I am. And it's always been who I am. But I fought it for so many years because people, you just a smack talker. But I realized it ain't what people say about you. It's what you say about yourself. And if you don't tell yourself you can achieve it, it ain't going to get achieved.
Well, only our opinions of ourselves. That's what really matters.
Yes.
And the respect of ourselves.
You have to really look within yourself and identify who you are. I'm probably going to say Les Brown again for like a week and a half. I've just been listening to him. And he goes, there was this man riding on a Turkish train. And every hour, the engineer would come by and say, who are you? Why are you here? And where are you going? And I had to think about that. And this is what everybody should expect. They should say about themselves. Who are you? Why are you here? And where are you going?
Yeah.
And my dream is, and it's not a dream, I'm gonna make it happen, is I wanna be a bookable comic and a bookable motivational speaker. So anytime I go speak, I wanna know if there's a comedy club in the area, I could get booked there. I don't need to be the headliner, but I wanna know I could get booked there. Because my story is a story of going to, I tell it on stage when I'm speaking. I've been fired from every job I've had. And I did the worst thing you could ever do, rinse and repeat. Lost the first job. All right, I'll just put out another resume and find another job. I should have had to resolve the first two times because, the first time could have been a fluke. Second time, I should have said, you know what? No, this ain't for me. Let me find what I really want to do.
Yeah.
Because had I done that, I wouldn't have wasted another 12 years.
Yes.
I'm really not using any of the skills that I learned in corporate America. I'm really not. If anybody could say that you wasted your time, people are like, oh, no, I wasted good 12 years in corporate America. I'm not using one skill that I learned in corporate America. Everything skill that I'm using, self-taught. People can say, well, you speak well with everybody. Had nothing to do with corporate America because I hated everybody I worked with. Had nothing to do with that. The people at the work didn't like me. I didn't like them. It was a mutual understanding of not liking each other. Everything I'm using, I utilized from self-taught. I put myself on that stage. Big ups to my friend Hillary. Well, we don't talk anymore, but big up to my friend Hillary for suggesting I go there. And that's the other thing. When you really start following your dreams of what you want to do, what's meant for you is going to gravitate towards you little by little. And it's going to appear out of nowhere. And you're going to say, how did this happen? Again, you interviewing me.
Well, and it comes to you. It comes to you. If you just stay on the path, it'll come your way.
Yeah.
You know?
You have to believe in what you're doing.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, we're about to wrap up. Do you want to say hello or give any shout outs to anybody watching?
Oh, man. Nah, none of them deserve any hellos from me. I'm messing. No. First of all, I gave a lot of shout outs to people throughout the show. And I always give great thanks to everybody because a lot of people have supported me through this. Big shout out. Do you know Dan Catullo?
No.
Okay, so Dan Catullo, class of 90, he's a producer from in Hollywood. And he ran into me at the Italian Festival when I was working for New Jersey 101.5. And he was like, yo, man, I see what you posted online. I love it. He had a production company and he had an office in New York. And I told him, I love what you're doing. I would love to connect with you and see if we can connect. He gave me the opportunity to work on some amazing productions. I've worked with Alicia Keys, Brad Paisley. We did Foo Fighters in Greece. We've done Sebastian Maniscalco. We've done some stuff with him. He's a comic. They just did Mike Marino at the high school in May.
Okay.
He did that. I worked with him on that one. We're about to do, well, this will come out afterwards, so it's not. We're about to do the versus battle, Cash Money versus No Limit.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
He's going to be producing and directing that.
Oh, cool.
I'm going out to that. I'm going to be working on that production. So I always joke and I always say I don't like Dan because Dan put this production bug in me. Because if I didn't, I'd probably have been like, all right, I got to find a corporate. He put the production bug in me. He's very successful and his family treats me like family.
Shout out to Dan.
So shout out to Dan. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Mike Marino too. Mike Marino pulls me underneath his wing, gives me a lot of good advice and really kind of steers me in the right direction. And I appreciate those two guys tenfold because they really support me when they don't have to. And it's hard. It's hard to kind of steer people and, you know, you got to figure out on your own, are you doing the right thing? Shout outs to my friend Jennifer, my friend Renata, my friend Danielle. A lot of people have been supporting me through this whole entire thing. And I really appreciate the love and the support. And some of them have been supporting me. I'm not gonna lie, been supporting me financially because it's not easy out there. And I'm still trying to figure it out. And I'm on when they say, living on a wing and a prayer, on a wing and a prayer, bro. But, it's slowly coming together. It's slowly jiving. And, at the end all be all, I really do want to thank even the detractors. I want to thank them because they put so much fire in me to be successful. And not to say I told you so, but at the end of the day, I know some of them are miserable because they're not following their dreams. And this is an example. If you follow your dreams, you can make it happen.
Yes.
If you believe in what you're doing, you can make it happen. And I don't think anybody should ever question, should they do it? The question should be, why won't I do it?
What's stopping you?
What's stopping you? Because we all have the opportunity to be great, but you have to be wanting to be great.
Thanks, Mark. And thanks for being on the show, man. Marklyn.
I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you tenfold, bro.
Yes, and people, go out there. These books are available on Amazon, right, Mark?
Find them on Amazon. If you're not too sure how to find them because of the titles, just put in the search bar, Marklyn T. Johnson, MarklynT. Johnson, JOHNSON. All the books will come up.
Yeah, and we'll put all the information in the closing credits. But man, good to see you again. Thanks for being on Video Explosion 2025.
Appreciate that.
All right, peace.